Now, Biju is talking about my boss is a very low empathy towards the employees. It does bring us down emotionally at times. And how do we deal with it? Now, Biju, this is a wonderful question if you ask me, because you brought it up very well in terms of boss is a low empathy towards the employees. Now, you need to understand what do you mean by empathy, right? Now, empathy is different for different people. Now, if you're saying with you that your boss has got a very low empathy towards employees, it comes down to about somebody who's not very conscious about the personal things of employees. That's what empathy index is. Empathy is you being empathetic, right? Now, what is empathy? Biju, I just want to clarify this with my other viewers who are here. Now, empathy is you care about an employee, right? You care about him or her, not just about doing work, and also about how he or she is. I remember about a decade back when I was in my own role as leading an Indian operation, I used to walk across in the workstations, and I used to remember one lady who was probably, I don't remember her name because it's almost a decade, in terms of, I saw that she was almost in tears, and she was probably could make out that she was extremely tense, and the body language. I just stopped, I walked up to her and said, hey, is everything fine? And I just asked that question, and she just burst out in tears. And I just stood for some time. I said, why don't you come and talk to me a little later? So when I spoke to her, I got to know that her son was not keeping well, and she was really tense because she had just left her son in front of the neighbors, and she didn't know what to do because she had an important task at hand. Then I obviously kind of called our manager immediately and said, hey, you know what, can you please ensure somebody covers up for her, and so that she can kind of go home and take care, because irrespective of it, she'll not be able to focus. Now, why I'm telling you this is because this basically for me was, I was empathetic there. Of nobody told me to do that. I was conscious about the fact that probably when I was walking across, I noticed that this lady was probably not in her best kind of frame of mind, and I stopped. Now, this is what empathy is. Now, Viju is saying somebody, a boss has got a low empathy towards employees, then you need to understand that the problem lies with you, with your boss, not with you. Because if somebody doesn't care about people working with him or her, then that means that person is not an actual leader, because you just do not look at what a person is doing, whether he or she is just working, coming and going. No, we're not robots, right? We are humans. We have people with us who can probably we connect with them. We have families back home. So everything is about being empathetic. Now, if you're looking at a true leader is one who's really empathetic. So now I understand that Biju says it does bring us down emotionally because you feel frustrated. Geez, we've spent so much time at work, and then our boss does not even care about what's happening with us personally or even professionally for that matter. So how do you deal with it? Now, Biju, there's no one glove fits all solution out here. There's probably the boss has to be sensitized. If you ask me, the best way is for the boss to be sensitized, and in terms of he or she has to realize that it's not only about getting work done from people, but also about being more empathetic, connecting with people, and ensuring that people are more in terms of living congruence as such. So the best thing I would say, Biju, is again coming to the Kritika and Mahesh question, if possible, you can talk to him if you have a good rapport, because usually people with a low empathy index are generally not very open to suggestion, because that's how human psychology works to a large extent. So if it's somebody from say HR department can put in a word, or even somebody as a peer level, that will be probably a better way to put it across. Because see, now this trait is something which not comes overnight, right? Somebody builds on this trait and then they become good at it. Unfortunately, there's a bad trait, not being empathetic to employees, but then unfortunately people also get good at the bad traits and bad habits, and then they carry on with them in their work experience, and then eventually it begins to affect the team. Because like Biju, they say that, hey, you know what, my boss is not empathetic. Now, geez, I mean, how do we connect with him when somebody is not empathetic at all, doesn't care about us, treat us like just robots? Now, that's what happens. So the best thing is to ensure that this gets sorted out, and then I'm sure you'll be able to probably do a better kind of thing in terms of connecting with your boss, because it's very important that you also understand that empathy index is very important to be a good leader as such.